We are now live. Please go ahead, sir.
Webinar. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 33rd webinar of Jeevitam Path to Livelihood series. Our intention for this series has been to interact with colleges and students all across the country, especially in the pandemic. And now we see the pandemic is no longer in wave 1, we enter the wave 2, it's actually worse than wave 1. And our organization help students across the country get livelihood during these challenging times. And we asked ourselves in Jeevitam 5 questions. And all were concerning placements at colleges. College placement drives happen during this crisis, especially when colleges are closed, students are at home, and corporates don't travel. And the answer came in a response. That second question was, we have colleges in tier 2 and tier 3 cities where college placement drives generally never happen. Can they also benefit from this technology solution of Jeevitam? And the answer was yes. The third question we asked ourselves was, why should only engineering and MBA colleges have placement drives? Why not BA, BCom, BSc, diploma students have placement drives? And that is possible, especially with technology. Then the question came up that why should only students in the final year go in for placement drives? There are multiple opportunities for internships, apprenticeships available, freelancing opportunities, and students should benefit from that. And Jeevitam solution even provides for that. And the last question was, why should placement drives happen only once a year, especially when students are passing out? Why not throughout the year till the last man or the last woman on ground get their jobs? And that is possible with technology solution. So these 5 questions, when looked at and answered, we find that we need to turn the entire college placement process upside down so that students benefit across the country. The motto for this was to make students independent. Why should students use their parents as ATM? Why can't they start earning their money right from the first year of their graduation? And that's possible in today's term, especially when work from home has almost become the norm. So given that background, Jeevitam launched this webinar series, interacting with colleges. And today we are happy to joint host this webinar along with St. Anthony's College in Shillong. Just to give you a brief idea of Jeevitam as a company, it's a tech-enabled platform which actually connects people who are seeking livelihood and people who are giving livelihood. We are not the Naukris or what we call the LinkedIns, but we are a platform which would reach out to the last man on the street, irrespective of where they are. In fact, we have a single number in 21 languages where a person who doesn't even have an internet connection can call up and upload his profile just by voice interaction. The objective is reach people who are underserved. We currently have about 1.5 crore work seekers registered on the platform, and especially the challenge of people finding gig jobs in this economy becomes easier using a platform like this. We have provided lively opportunities for innumerable people, and we have about 200 profiles currently on the platform. Over 10 lakh candidates match their relevant opportunities during this COVID times using our platform. We also have partnerships and tie-ups with the Ministry of Labor and Employment Government of India, various state governments, and have run job fairs along with them. And we also are connected with a lot of top corporates and philanthropic organizations in India. So welcome to this webinar again. Very important for us to know that during these tough times, the best way to use time of students is to interact with the best in class speakers in the country, understand and gain from their wide experience. And we have two state-of-art people who are there with us today as speakers, and I'll introduce them shortly. But before doing that, let me just ask Srishti to play the video.
Sure, sir.
Audio is not there.
स्कूल की लाइन में लगे एक आंख बंद किए इधर उधर ताकते, इसका मतलब शायद मालूम ही नहीं था। कॉलेज की भीड़ में दोस्तों के साथ ठाके लगाते भी कामयाबी पानी तो थी, मगर हम होंगे कामयाब ये सोचने की ना जरूरत थी ना मौका। माँ की नसीहतें और पिता के सहारे के बीच हम होंगे कामयाब के मायने समझना थोड़ा मुश्किल था। हम होंगे कामयाब का असली मतलब तो तब समझ आया जब जिंदगी ने हाथ छुड़ाकर कहा, ये तुम्हारी लड़ाई है, सिर्फ तुम्हारी। लड़ो, गिरो, उठो, फिर लड़ो, फिर गिरो, फिर उठो, अगर उठ सको। लड़ने ने, गिरने ने और गिरकर उठने ने हिम्मत तो जगाई ही, साथ ही जगाया यकीन। और इस यकीन को हकीकत बनाने में आपके साथ है जीवतम।
अब परिवर्तन लाना है, लक्ष्य को हमें पाना है, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हाँ, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन।
आइए मिलकर भारत को कामयाब बनाते हैं।
सरकार की सहायता रोजगार के साथ जोड़ करके नई इकाइयों के लिए सरकार अब योजना बनाएगी। देश में रोजगार के अवसर बढ़े, उस पर हम बल देना चाहते हैं।
होंगे कामयाब।
Thank you, Srishti, for taking us to that video. And let me first introduce you to the two speakers of today. It's difficult to introduce extremely accomplished speakers in a webinar like this, and I will still make an attempt at it. Ashutosh Kumar is an example of a person who started a life in the corporate world, and then he moved on to be a person who is going to create what he calls a billion club of entrepreneurs. In fact, Jagati Yatra, if you know about it, you will be extremely happy to know about it. And if you don't know about it, this is the right time to go back after the webinar and look at their website to understand what they are doing. It's the 12th year running now. They have a train that travels 8,000 kilometers called the Entrepreneurial Journey. An alumni of IIT Kharagpur, who though started what he says a small theater company in Chennai when he was working there, moved on to join them from the beginning, the founder of, co-founder of Jagati Yatra, which is now recognized across the world. The train culminates and meets the president the current financial year because of the COVID. They did it through an online mechanism, but otherwise there has been an actual passengers, 500 of them traveling the train across the length and breadth of the country, experiencing what entrepreneurship is all about. In fact, he has been conferred multiple recognitions. I think the list goes on and on and on. He's a man who is actually mentoring entrepreneurs on the ground. So today's webinar, you're going to find a man who has been there, done it, and he is now using his intellectual ability to replicate himself to 1 billion people. And there can't be a better way to move towards the $10 billion economy, $10 trillion economy India wants to move. The only path ahead is through this entrepreneurial journey. And Ashutosh, through his answers and interactions, will share with us his journey. Thanks a lot, Ashutosh, for accepting our invite, and welcome to the webinar. Okay, the next speaker is a man who also has been there and done it. Santosh Kumar Sahu, the CEO and Managing Partner of Computer Lab. He's been a graduate of economics and did his PG in computer science. I have known him closely for almost 5 years now and have been truly awed by the humility this man displays for the accomplishments that he has achieved. This year culminates 31 years of his organization, Computer Lab, and he has built it from scratch. He joined the company as an employee, took over 10% of the stake, and now is a partner on the company and leading it to greatness. From each year, it moves at a better pace and a better notch. The Aadhaar project that he was involved in has been the largest project ever and got the first position in Eastern India. His ambition is not only Computer Lab being a successful corporate, but he wants to bring rural employment and make it a reality. He wants to create entrepreneurs like him. He wants to get people employment in rural areas by sharing his success story. And if you look at the, again, very similar to Ashutosh, if you combine a number of awards these two people recognition they have won, I think one room in Rashtrapati Bhavan may not be enough. So that's the kind of accolades they have got. Very humble people, both of them. And in fact, I have interacted with Ashutosh at a point of time when he helped us set up a center in Baithalpur in Uttar Pradesh and allowed an entrepreneur there to come up. So, and Santosh Sahu also has been interacting with us in terms of projects for us. So it has been amazing to have two speakers with us today who are going to help students understand from scratch what entrepreneurship is about, entrepreneurship, especially the practitioners are here. They don't talk by the book, they talk by the real lives they have led. So welcome Santosh Sahu to this webinar, and I can guarantee students will really enjoy your presence here.
Thank you very much.
Before we move on to the actual webinar, this is what is called, in my understanding, the Shillong of UK, which is Scotland. In fact, what people always say is Scotland is the Shillong, where we have Scotland of India, Shillong is the other way around. And the picture of last evening at Shillong, I have just shared the temperatures across the country, across the major metros, and look where Shillong is. So I've asked the students to package a little of the atmosphere there and send it to all of us so that we can tolerate the heat of this year. And thank you, Kimi, for the beautiful pictures of your college. This is where they are, historical college. And now, as we move ahead to discuss the students in conversation with us, we have Reverend Father Brother Albert along with us as the principal. We have Reverend Father Dr. Joby Joseph, the rector, along with us, and the students along with us. And I now request Father Joby Joseph to introduce the institution to us. Over to you, Father Joby.
Reverend Brother Albert, Longley Dakar, STV Principal of St. Anne's College, Sri Mohanji, Mr. Sri Ashutosh Kumar, Sri Santosh Kumar, and our dear Andonian students, Lalram Kimi, Saubhagya Das, and Irene Alexandria Period, and all young people. We are indeed glad to be here and attending this webinar. We are coming, as we said, from Scotland on the east. Maybe many of you are still under the fan. Here we are still under sweater and blankets because it's still cold and weather is always pleasant here. And not only weather, people too, and the place too. This is St. Anthony's College, Shillong, the capital of Meghalaya. The college, founded in 1934, it is 87 plus years old, and the college is managed by the Don Bosco Education Society, which is a worldwide education society over 134 plus countries. We have universities, colleges, schools, technical schools, and other social and other commitments that we have across the countries. St. Anne's College was one of the first of the higher education institutions that this sponsoring body, the Don Bosco Education Society, started worldwide. And currently we have 33 plus departments. We run in 3 shifts, morning 7 to evening 7, 12 hours, and have PG and undergraduate courses. Though being an affiliated college under the Central University of Northeastern Hill University, we do not easily manage getting master's courses being a central university, but we have been one of the first to start courses back in 2004. First college under this university to start master's courses. And we have a faculty strength of nearly 200, 60 plus support staff, 3,500 students. We also have 2 extension centers. We have reached out to other 2 parts of the state. We have one in the East Giantia Hills, where we have started for students of that region being little away, and from other states too, which are closer there. We have started in 2014. We have 500 students currently, and 3 batches are passed out. We also have a transformational psychological caring center where our students go for orientation program that is around 20 kilometers from the college. We take students over there for these programs. And we have students from all the states of the country, all the states, and also international students of Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and other neighboring countries of Kazakhstan, etc. And in keeping the mission of this college is providing quality education within the reach of all. So that is a unique feature of this college. We give quality education within the reach of all. So something called capitation fee, etc., are not vocabulary that I heard in this part of the college. And the vision of the college is providing and making students intellectually competent, morally upright, socially committed, and spiritually inspired person, which means we touch every sphere of the human person: intellect through learning, moral uprightness, socially committed to the world, and spiritually inspired. I think St. Anthony's College been running this mission of educating young people, and today we are privileged, especially maybe a time like this, how we are able to give it better to our young people, to our students, and lead them ready for the market and to stand on their own foot as education and make them better citizens and spiritual persons. Thank you once again. I'm sure this will be of great use. We like to thank the Jividam group, Mohanji and Sushti and other organizers for having this. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Fazil. Over to Father Albert.
Good evening to all. In a very special way, KG Mohan, Mr. Santosh Kumar, Mr. Asutosh Kumar, Srishti, Father Joby, and from College Saubhagya Das, Kimi, Irene. One day, I just received a call from Jividam. So pleasant voice, nice, very respectful, wanting to have our interaction with St. Anthony's College. Hearing to that voice, I could not say no. I meet Father Joby to be contacted. I gave the number, so we are here. Thank you, Jividam. I feel so happy to even hear KG Mohan speaking and trying to introduce the whole thing to St. Anthony's College. I am very much excited. As we all know, COVID-19 visited us. We have heard from KG Mohan, the second wave is coming. But I always give courage to my student. Dear student, anything that has come for good. Today, if we are hearing to Jividam, it is because of COVID-19. So you are able to connect with us, and I can see 109 of the students are going to hear Jividam. You are really going to give life to our student. And I must not take much time, but I must say welcome to this show that we will be having. And I'm very much excited, and I'm praying things will go on. And in a very special way, I would like to thank Mr. Santosh, Mr. Asutosh, KG Mohan, and Srishti for coming in a very nice way to these young boys and girls to speak and to help them to stand on their own feet. I salute you, Jividam, and please keep always contact with St. Anthony's. We have smart boys and girls, and these smart boys and girls are very polite. We are in this part of the country. If you happen to visit, please come to our campus. In our campus, when you visit, you will never find any fights, but very polite, very sociable, very helpful. We have got 3,500 students. Everything goes on smoothly. And you coming in this way will give a lot of life and light to our student. Thank you once more. And I shall be here listening to Mr. Ashutosh and also Mr. Santosh Kumar. Thank you, KG Mohan and Srishti, for this platform.
Thank you very much, Father Albert, and thank you, Father Joby. More power to you, more power to the students of St. Anthony's. So let the webinar begin. Over to you, Srishti.
Thank you so much, Principal Sir and Joby Sir, for the kind words and the invitation. It's an absolute pleasure to host this webinar with a beautiful college in Shillong. And it gives me immense pleasure to be here because I am also an alumni of Jagrati Yatra. And I was actually in my final year when I embarked on this journey, and it was an absolute life-changing journey, which actually led me to become an entrepreneur. And here I am starting my own startup. I am also working in a startup. So it's a great time for all of us to start something, to do something new, and it's an amazing time to be young. So without further ado, welcome to the speakers. And this is a webinar for the students, by the students. So let's go ahead with our students. We do a short introduction. So our first student panelist is Irene. She's a fourth semester BA English student. She's the oldest of three siblings. Her mother is a banker and her father owns his own business in the food industry. She's an avid reader, loves to cook and try new recipes, and also loves gardening. She's preparing for TISNET examination and aspires to pursue her master's in human resources. She believes in developing employees with good work ethics and a holistic work environment. So she's planning a career in the field of human resources. What a beautiful thought, Irene. And fun fact about her is that she has 3 cats and she loves organizing her wardrobe and bookshelves according to color. So that's a very specific fact about her. And now let's move on to the question that she has for our speakers. So Irene, I would request you to please ask your question to our esteemed speaker.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity first to thank KG Mohan sir and Shrishti ma'am for giving us this platform to be able to talk to such esteemed speakers like Mr. Santosh Kumar sir and um, Mr. Ashutosh Kumar. So, without further ado, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Santosh Kumar sir, that as you are the CEO of Computer Labs, so a lot of people come to your company for employment. It has become apparent that now employers look for students who graduate with more than just a college degree. So our college, in that way, is helping us do internships. They, have workshops and programs to develop us further, so that we can graduate college with more than just a degree. So my question is, what are some things that we as students can do to enhance our chances of employment?
Yeah, good evening, all of you. First of all, thanks KG to give me opportunity to speak to the young students of Meghalaya. I'm St. Anthony College. I sincerely thanks to all of you to join in this webinar. As regards to your question, my answer is only having your graduation is not the only thing where you can add value to your professionalism or your career. Adding with your graduation, you have to first prepare a wish list of yours and where you wanted to go, and based on that you should go for internship, you should go for seminar, you should go for different workshop where you wanted to go. Like you wanted to be a lecturer, you want to be an entrepreneur, you wanted to be where you wanted to do, what you wanted to do. Based on your wish list, based on your vision and mission, you have to explore. There are so much of opportunities beyond the classroom teaching or your graduation to go for specific internship in different in the line where you are interested. So like we are always open, people who are interested to come forward for internship, to come forward for a startup. We always help them by giving them internship in different projects or different subjects. Apart from that, also we help them to give our resources to free of cost to do some kind of a projects or kind of a develop a particular app or do some development or develop some application software where that is the requirement of the society, or they can market it, or we also help them to market it, provided they prepare a good quality of product and services for the society. And moreover, it is again, India is so big and all, so you need to identify specific area of requirement. Like maybe in Shillong, there is a cool and everything is, so you have to think that what are the local market is looking for, which is not available or which may not be required in Karnataka, where Mr. KG is sitting over there. So it's need based thought you have to make. As a startup, you always, if you are going to be a startup, you have to think different, and you have to sell your ideas, or you have to convert your ideas into a business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. And I think that is a very short and crisp answer. So thank you, sir. Let's move on to our next student panelist, who I call Kimi. Uh, she is a BSc Zoology student, and she is the middle child in a small family of 5. Her father is in the government service, while her mother is a homemaker. Her hobbies include reading books, penning down thoughts, and going out for adventures such as trekking and hiking. She's looking to appear for various exams that she is eligible for. Her aim is to become a government servant or pursue higher studies in the field of zoology. So a fun fact about her is that as much as she loves trekking, she has never completed a trek without tripping on each adventure. So she has been doing a lot of physical activities during the break, but she has only been gaining weight. So thank you for sharing that with us, Kimi. And we totally relate to the pandemic. Keeping off weight has been a task, but I'm sure you will succeed. So I would now request you to please ask your question to Mr. Ashutosh, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Srishti. Sir Ashutosh, my question is, so as you are the executive director of Jagriti, the non-profit organization that supports and promotes entrepreneurship in rural India. So during this pandemic, there has been a rise in work and courses that have been going on online, and so because of that, a lot of us have found time to maybe start local businesses, discovering new talents and all. So because of this, a lot of students also have been trying out their hands at in the business field. So during this, how important has networking become, and also in how do these local businesses compete with the commercialized businesses that have already existed before the pandemic? And as students, how can we make a different approach?
Thank you, Kimi. Thanks for asking this question, and you have an excellent profile. I'm also a middle child, though I'm a family of 3 brothers, and where I am in between. But you definitely don't look like you are weighting gain. You are looking very fit and fine. So very good.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for inviting me to this forum. Thank you, KG. Thank you, Srishti. Thank you, Jeevitam. And thank you, Father Jobby, and thank you, Brother Albert. It's a great pleasure always to speak to students and share our experience with them. So I always look for such opportunities. Coming to your question, Kimi, networking, I think, is super important. And it's not only during this COVID or pandemic time, but even before, if you see, it was always important. Most of the entrepreneurs, most of them who have been seeking opportunities, they have been great networkers. They have been very good at networking. The only thing that has changed in the recent times is how do we see networking? What is real networking? Because of the boom of this social media sites or platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., we feel that networking is just pinging some person, sending a friend request and getting accepted to the friend request. That's the networking, but that's not really the networking. That's a very, very shallow form of networking. Networking in its true sense is very, very deep. It starts with your first circle, I would say, of your own family. Because if you see most of the good entrepreneurs in India, the traditional ones, they first look at their family to build a network who they can cope into their own businesses. Then they move to the next circle of networking, which is the friends, close relatives even, who they can bring into their business. Then they move to the third circle, going to the more strangers kind of people, right? So I think we should always look at these 3 circles when you are especially thinking about business, because business or entrepreneurship or enterprise is really about building a trust. And without trust, you can't really network with each other. And within a family, it's easy because you have been living with them for so many years. So there's a natural trust. With friends, there's a natural trust. And then you move to the third circle. So always go into deep networking. Don't think about LinkedIn as the only means to create a network. That's a shallow one. You have to really spend a lot of time in building good relationships for first purpose, which is getting your team for your own enterprise. How do you bring people if you're thinking about some idea to start a business, right? And then the next purpose of the networking, how do you get access to market? How do you get your first order? How do you get your customer? That's where also the network helps. In both the cases, it has to be really deep networking. There's no other option. You have to spend a lot of time to understand the mindset of the person with whom you are building this network. Who is the person? What is his or her likes and dislikes? And that takes time. That takes patience. It can't be just sending a friend request, ping, and that's it, it's done. So it requires patience, but I think it's also very rewarding, because in the end, if you're able to build deep relationships and not just some shallow network, it will help you a lot in the long term. So think from a long-term perspective, and that will help you a lot. Your second question, can you repeat? I can then answer it.
Yes, sir. So how can we change the mindset of the upcoming youth to support local businesses as compared to the already existing commercialized businesses for a more self-reliant India?
Yeah, I think that's that's a bit of task, Kimi, to be honest, because the media has created such a hype about all these, new age startups where they get a lot of funding and where they are easily able to go global or go national because they have a lot of investment and funding to do something. As compared to that, the local businesses are really very robust business model. They pretty much run on their own revenue. They are not driven by investment, and hence they are more long term as compared to these startups. But because the media has created such an hype, so it's very difficult to get the young people focus on the local businesses rather than get your $1 billion investment and get into a startup kind of startup kind of idea. So I think it's tough, but I think it's also important because slowly what we are seeing is that this whole startup and the investment game is really reserved for the top few, right? I mean, whatever may be the reason, but that's the cruel reality, that it's really reserved for the top one, people coming from the premier institutes and all that. They are able to get the investment to the big funders, right? So let them be. But I think for the upcoming generation, it's very important to realize that the local businesses they are going to create, in the end they are going to be the winners, because they are really going to create a very strong revenue based business model which will keep them profitable, unlike the startups which are not making any profit. On the contrary, they are making loss month upon month, and they are only driven by investment. That's not what we want. That's not what India wants for its growth. We really need profitable businesses, and that can be only done when you start locally, when you understand your community mindset, when you understand what is the product they want, and you start locally, and then slowly keep on building, expanding over the years with your profits, not just by purely getting investment. So I think it's difficult to drive this point home, especially because of such media hype. But we need to really do that, because in the end, the pie at the top level or the startup level is very small, right? Only few people can access that. But the pie at the local business level is huge. The opportunity is absolutely huge. Everybody can dip into that and do something locally and create a profitable business. So if you're thinking about profit, if you're thinking about making a true business, becoming a true entrepreneur, local business is really the way to start.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. And actually, I just wanted to share that while I was on my journey, I had actually planned that after my final year, I will pursue my master's abroad in I will do an LLM. But actually, the journey, we had role model visits, and all the places that we visited, it just made me aware about how diverse and how powerful our people and our culture and all the kinds of businesses that we can do, and actually strengthen our India, especially in the villages and the small towns, because that is where the actual talent lies, where the untapped talent lies. So I think when we, as Ashutosh sir said, that we should not only look at the high-end startups, but we should actually try to incorporate in a way that the local businesses flourish, and that is how we are going to progress as a country. So thank you so much, sir, for that answer. And let's move on to the next question. So Irene, I request you to please ask the question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Ashutosh sir. So, Shishri ma'am has told us about Jagrati Yatra, and it's come to my, um, it's come like I've understood that you've met a lot of youths and helped them in their entrepreneurial journey. So my question is it's actually very personal because I wanted to do my master's in HR, and I believe that it's not just a college degree that makes you a good employee, but it's also the soft skills and the skills that you inculcate, um, when you meet people and when you're talking to esteemed panelists such as yourself, sir. So my question is, what do you think are the necessary soft skills that are most important when looking for a livelihood opportunity?
Thank you, Aaron, for this question. And I completely agree that college degree doesn't really help you beyond a point. So I was also like a mechanical engineer, right? I was supposed to work on this shop floor and all those things. But probably the closest I'm doing to mechanical right now is running a train, right? So that maybe that will still qualify as a mechanical job. But even before the soft skill, why I would say that the really important point is developing a mindset, right?
Okay,
And
sir.
in that context, let me tell you the word livelihood. I would like you guys, all of you who are listening to this and who are asking us question, bright young people, don't use the word livelihood. Use the word entrepreneurship, right?
Okay, sir.
Entrepreneurship has a much better and a broader meaning than livelihood. Livelihood is really about your roti, kapda, and makan, which I'm sure all of you who are here will be able to manage that, right? आप लोग कर लेंगे वो आपको 2 दिन की रोटी और वो कपड़ा मकान मिल जाएगा. Think beyond that, and that's what India needs at this stage. उस तरह का ambition हमें चाहिए. So इसलिए developing that mindset is very important, a very positive mindset and a mindset of abundance, right? There is nothing in scarcity around us. There is enough for everyone, and we can do whatever, because often in the college or even in our growing years, in our families, in our communities, we are taught there is a limited resource. Itna hi hai hamare paas, right?
Yes,
If
sir.
somebody is going to take something from this pie, we will not be left with anything, which is a wrong notion, right? The pie is unlimited. There is abundance of that. We need to believe in that. हम जितना भी उसमें से ले, it is not going to end up. It will in fact keep on increasing the pie, right? So rather than competing with each other, think of how you can collaborate with each other. I think that's the fundamental skill जो हमको अपने colleges में or in our families, communities is not taught. Whatever be the reason, let's leave that. But how can you really work with each other? How you can collaborate with each other rather than always competing with each other? कि मुझे first आना है, right? उसको first नहीं आने देना. I have to do everything. I should get this. The other person should not get. Why don't we think कि मुझे भी मिल जाए and the other person also gets that, right? Both of us get. और वो जो that mindset is very difficult because we have been conditioned in the opposite way. So we have to decondition our mind and change it into collaboration. How do we work with each other? And let me tell you, most of the startups or most of the enterprises in India fail because not they don't get money or they don't get market access, but they fail because the team of the co-founding members, they are not able to gel with each other in the beginning. वहीं शुरू के 2-3 साल में things start falling apart. और क्यों? क्योंकि वहाँ collaboration की भावना नहीं है. एक साथ how do we work with each other closely? That feeling, that empathy and those things are not there. So that to me is the first step, Irene, that think about developing a mindset of an entrepreneur who believes in
Yes, sir.
abundance, who believes in working with each other, believes in collaboration and not competition. Then you will see that other soft skills that are required, like communication, like networking, all those things you will start automatically gain. वो खुद ही हो जाएंगे when you start reaching out to people because you believe in collaboration and because you want to talk to someone. Then you will see your empathy goes up. Then you will see your communication skill also goes up, right? Because you naturally genuinely want to talk to someone because you believe in collaboration. So that would be my advice. Start from a good mindset, not directly jump into skills. That automatically will come.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. That's a big takeaway. Focus on the mindset. And I think we've learned that do not call it livelihood, but entrepreneurship. So let's move on to Kimi, who will ask the question to Mr. Santosh, sir. Please go ahead, Kimi.
Santosh, I would like to thank you first for listening to my question. In relation to what has been asked by my friend Irene, we have witnessed quite a rise in career building platforms that are offered online, especially with the halt in the normal working schedule. So, can you please tell us what are some of the online courses and trainings, ideal ones that we should take to prepare ourselves as students to prepare to become future entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Excuse me. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're
Yes,
audible.
can hear you.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I fully agree with Mr. Asutosh what he has shared about the building, networking, and thinking of entrepreneurship not like a livelihood. I fully agree with him. And you people in the new generation people, there is a huge transformation of our when I started my entrepreneurship and today's days. Like okay, after the internet and your Google and all these things, the business model has changed in a very drastic way. The conventional business model has now is changing to its online business model, and even due to COVID also, the business model is changing every day. So what you need to do is you have to be focused on the social media sites. You have to be thoroughly uh, build network through the social media site. See, for startup entrepreneurs, there are little bit of challenges. Like fully agree with the first number of point is like-minded people to do a entrepreneurship. If you do not join with like-minded people or friends or colleagues, then entrepreneurship, the startup things cannot happen, or if it happens also, it will fall down very fast. There are challenges in financial resources, the challenges in revenue generation, then challenges in marketing, local marketing. There are number of challenges, but you have to find out strategy how to overcome it. Second is, for the startup thing, Government of India has come up with so much of schemes now for startup entrepreneurs. So you need to go through a lot of websites. Like there is a website called mymsme.gov.in, where you will get all the policies and details of the governments for this thing for startup entrepreneurs. Then there is another site is MSME databank.in, where you will find out the corporate houses or the big corporates, what are the services or products they require from the startups or MSME companies. So there you can also support them. There are Atmanirbhar Bharat. There is another scheme is there. So there's so much of in Google you will find out so much of opportunity where you can go through and see that what are the benefits for the startup entrepreneurs government is supporting now. Number two is, when you are going for a startup, you have to choose which area you are going for a startup, like whether it is e-commerce, whether it is B2B, whether it is internet, whether it is mobile apps, whether it is engineering, whether it's construction, what kind of a startup you are going to start. And on that you have to study micro level, the customer base, the local market, what are the geographical location where you are going to sell your product or services. So you have to make a very good case study. then only you should go for this startup. You see, for like when what Mr. Asutosh told is, the moment I joined in this company as an employee and I took over this company. So I follow the same principle in my company, like all my older members in my teams. I made them small entrepreneurs under our organization. So we have created almost 10 to 15 entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs or startup entrepreneurs. Now they are not an employee to us, or they're not a employee to us. They are now become a small entrepreneur or startups who are giving us service. So if we are getting a big project, we piecemeal it, outsource it to our employee. Okay, you do this particular district as an entrepreneur, and you give us the service. So like that, we do the collaboration in every area. In the pan India, wherever we work, we take local entrepreneur or local like-minded people or small entrepreneur locally, take their help, give them support, give them the opportunity to work locally and get their livelihood, or get their to prove their entrepreneur skills there itself. Like, if I'm telling you, very adjoining state in Assam, we are working now for Aadhaar, and we have worked there for NRC. So there, what we have done is we have locally created the employment there, and among them also we took some people as our partner there locally. Okay. So I got the opportunity to went to visited Ceylon last year. So this is how we can always build a network, build a collaboration, and do the value addition to the society by creating small entrepreneurs. Like, your question is what are the sites? There are n number of sites. Like, you have to follow it, n number of sites to know about the startup, their benefits, government schemes, different organization like PSUs, different companies, those who are coming as an angel investor to the startups. There are huge number of organizations, but yeah, before investing, they always see the model, the business model, the scalability, the sustainability of that particular project. Then only they go for the investment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that detailed answer. We just asked a poll where we said, what is your immediate priority in life? And most of them said higher studies, but I was happy to see that more students are trying to become entrepreneurs as compared to finding jobs. So that's a great sign for us. Now let's move on to our final student panelist, who is Saubhagya Das. So he is a BCom student, and his father has worked for the electricity distribution company of Assam, known as Assam Power Distribution Company. His hobbies are table tennis, powerlifting, computer games, traveling, especially long distance road, self rides, and camping. So, and after his graduation, he plans to go back to his hometown and set up a real estate business and also a multi-complex market. He also wishes to pursue an MBA. So that's a very thought of ambition. A fun fact about him is that he has done dead weightlifting of 150 kgs. Wow, great. So let's move on to his question. So Bhagya, I request you to please ask your question to Santosh sir.
Good evening, sir. I hope you are fine. My question is a problem that I struggle myself right now. Like, when we start our own venture in our college, we don't have the required capital to hire labor. So we are forced to work with our friends. But it's very hard for us to maintain a professional relationship with our friends without affecting our informal relationship with our friends. So how can we maintain a professional relationship and also maintain our friendship in college? That's a very huge struggle that we as students face right now.
very tough question to answer. Because see, maintaining professional relationship and personal relationship, or your friendly relationship, is a two different aspects altogether. But say you have to grow through by engaging in conversation which are relevant. So you have to be very clear on your professional relationship with your friends, and see, personal relationship, your college relationship is out of any profit making scenario. There is no investment, no expectation, or no return on the expectation. When you are having a friendly relationship, okay, you are always out of the like profit mentality. But when you together and you try to invest as a venture or as a business model, or there, the risk is there and the gain is also there. So the risk has to be shared and the gain has to be shared also. So when you are going for a partnership within the peers, you have to be very careful. Tomorrow, how to maintain my personal relationship and professional relationship without hampering my personal relationship. I will run my business without, because of my personal relationship, I should not lose my business relationship. Because of my business or entrepreneur relationship, I should not lose my personal relationship. So you need to balance both. For that, you need to have very careful while going forward with your business model along with your friends and your colleagues, or in your friends. The basic important thing is, when you are coming for a business model, the revenue is required, the investment is required, the clear picture, the vision and mission of your business model, it has to be definitely is a part of your business. How to sustain that business, how to market it, how to go beyond your particular geographical location, how to get revenue out of the business. Because suppose you have invested X amount, so you will definitely wanted that my X plus something will come in my business model. So if it is happening, then there is a chances that okay, you are going good in your business and you are going to scale up. But if there is God forbid, if something goes wrong in a negative revenue generation, there is a chances of difference among your friends and all. So it is really a tough thing to maintain both the things. But if everything goes good, you can maintain more both the things. And it should be, I should suggest one thing: before going for a business model or a joint venture or a collaboration with your friends, be clear, be focused, and everything should be in black and white about your roles, responsibilities, and your partner's roles, responsibilities from the day one. And it has to be maintained properly to go forward with the roles, responsibilities, with the SOW defined in the agreement. And you have to not go beyond the borderline what you have mentioned about your roles, responsibility. So
Yes, thank you, sir.
so I hope you have got the answer.
Saubhagya?
Saubhagya?
Yes, sir. I'm having a journey, student. I'm so sorry.
No problem, no problem. It's all right. So,
Hello.
Srishti,
yeah.
anything else you wanted to know from me?
No, so we'll move on to our next question because we have a time crunch also. So now let's move on to the next question for you, Santosh sir. Kimi, please ask your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir Santosh, I believe that in order to start a business, be it small scale or large scale, a considerable amount of investment is necessary. as they say, the starting must be solid. So how does one get the capital to become an entrepreneur, and what is the ideal time to stay in debt? Of course, the sooner the better, but is there like a particular time span that is ideal?
Repeat again. I just yeah. So you mean to say what kind of a capital you wanted to invest in your entrepreneurship?
Sir, how do we obtain that capital, and also what is the ideal
Okay.
time to stay in debt?
Okay. Okay. See, any business, five years is the time to sustain, to prove yourself. Like the 5 years journey is the lead time is required to come to a break-even point. Like your struggle period is always 5 years for any entrepreneurship. So you need to be mentally prepared that I need to stay in the market for 5 years to run my business. Okay. So during the 5 years time, the kind of investment is required is need to be identified, and the source of inflow, whether it is bank funding, whether it is the angel investor funding, whether your parents is funding, which source you will get this kind of investment. Suppose in 5 years down the line, you wanted to invest 10 lakhs. So every year you wanted to infuse 10 lakhs, or you wanted 50 lakhs every year, you wanted to invest 10 lakhs each. So which source you will get it? And you need to calculate whether it is your own money or bank money or angel investors money. You need to calculate the bank rate of interest to along with the investment amount. So you need to have a projection that this is my investment, and this is the first year I will be -5 -10%. Second year I will be in the -2%. Third year I will be in the +5%. Fourth year I will be in the +10%. Like that, you have to calculate for the coming 5 years. So before that, if you are successful, it is very good. It is like you have done all your homework, and your product and services is accepted in the market very well, so that in the period of 2 to 3 years also you become a sustainable entrepreneur, or you become a profitable entrepreneur or profitable business venture. But the market scenario is always 5 years. See, today's world, this is also happened very fast because of the business model, changing business model, because of this migration, because of the business model migration, like transition from the conventional business to internet based business or online based business. If you talk about before pandemic, like Ola, Uber, or Oya Rooms, or whatever, these all technology driven business. You talk about education based business, like you talk about Byju's or all other business model, which they don't have much of capital based resources or infrastructure based business, but they run with a concept base. It is run under the technology. So you need to decide that what kind of business you will do. The technology based business is, it can uh, it can improve very fast. You can always improve very fast, but there is a chances of also you may, if you fall down, so you will fall down also very fast. So you need to decide that kind of business you are going to do it. Suppose you are going for a real estate, so it is an asset based business. Okay. But if you're going for a technology-based business or online marketing or online services, or some kind of a business which runs under this kind of a home delivery or apps or something, or the business which runs under technology, that where you have to be very careful the kind of services or delivery or products which you are going to give it to your customers and their acceptance. Maybe like today, the transformation happened in such a way, like today nobody is purchasing digital camera, because camera is inbuilt in mobile phones. So the camera world is gone. Nobody is purchasing radio now. Nobody is purchasing these stereo now, these audio systems now, because everybody is using mobile phone for their audio systems, sound systems. So there's lot many of we have seen the transformations has happened last 2-3 decades when it has transformed the business model to huge extent. Like today, everybody is buying from Flipkart and Amazon. Nobody is planning to go to the retail store and buy it. So whatever do you think about the small kirana shop who is at
Sir, you are on mute. Okay, so I think so Ashutosh sir also has some
so
important.
what? Yeah.
So Santosh sir, I would have to move to the next question.
Yeah, I'm just closing it. Okay. So this is how you need to think of your business model. Based on your business model, you have to move forward. But as far as your question is concerned, 3 to 5 years is the journey time where you have to sustain in a business to make it a profitable business. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So we will move on to the question by Ashutosh sir. By Saubhagya to Ashutosh sir. Please, Saubhagya, please go ahead and ask your question. I think Saubhagya is facing some issues. So Irene, please can you ask this question to sir?
Yes.
Hello.
I think it's hello, Shobhagya. Can you hear what we're saying?
Yeah. I was curious on what. Yes, I can. I was curious on what the government has taken to encourage the upcoming youth to become more entrepreneurs. And in a country like India, where employment is a huge issue, we should focus more on becoming self-employed youth. And that way, if we encourage the youth to become entrepreneurs, that way we also solve a huge employment problem. And moreover, what courses the government has given to entrepreneurs that we can increase our knowledge base, and which certificates also holds a lot of value in the future.
Thank you, Saubhagya. So Saubhagya, I mean, you are going back to your hometown to set up that real estate business and some marketing, some mall kind of space, right? So I think that's a very bold move and a very yes. I must congratulate you, because I mean,
so actually I convinced my father when I was in grade 8 to invest in real estate, land, and so on. So now, since it's been more than 7 years, the land we occupied that back then holds a lot of value. So I want to convert all of the land and assets we have into liquid assets, so that I can start a multi-complex business and slowly expand my real estate business.
So that's wonderful, Saubhagya, and that's a very bold and courageous move. I must encourage all of you, especially those 58% who have opted for higher studies, to really go back to your hometowns and find some business opportunity. It could be as simple as starting with your family business, which Saubhagya is doing, and that's the best place, believe me, best place to start with. If you have a family business, nothing like it, invest some time into that, because the kind of learning you will get by working, by getting your hands dirty in a business, you'll never be able to achieve through higher studies. Now, if your objective of higher studies is go into research and do something like that, that's most welcome. But if you finally want to come back and do something in entrepreneurship, I think you are going to really waste your time going for higher studies, because the learning and the whole way of education has drastically changed in the last especially 3-4 years. अब वो पहले वाली पढ़ाई नहीं है कि हम जाके स्टैनफोर्ड में बैठ के पढ़ लेंगे, MBA की डिग्री ले लेंगे, and then we'll come back and become entrepreneur. If you want to become entrepreneur, you have to do it from the day one, like Saubhagya is doing. So I will again encourage, and that's the purpose of Yatra also. When we take 500 people on the train, we really kind of exhort them. हम उनको push करते हैं कि can you go back to your hometowns? Do you have the courage, like Mr. Santosh is doing? Can you go back and do something for your community, for your place? And by the way, it's not a social act. It's pretty much a commercial act where you set up a business and enterprise, you generate employment, but you also earn a decent, in that whole process. And if your enterprise keeps on growing, you will obviously also become millionaire and billionaire. So, but coming to Saubhagya, your question, the government kya kar rahi hai? I think government is doing a lot. The question really is, why do you want to look up to the government for any kind of support, right? I mean, government has a function to do, which is to support young entrepreneurs. They have a lot of schemes. Like we are a part of a scheme which is called Atal Innovation Mission, under which we are trying to set up this Atal Incubator, Atal Incubation Center, AIC in short, in a geography in Eastern UP. वहाँ पे हम कर रहे हैं. Under that incubation, we'll be supporting a lot of entrepreneurs. But it's not that when Atal Innovation Mission came, तभी हम वो incubator start कर रहे हैं. We started it long back, 3-4 years back, with whatever resources we had, and we kept on building. And finally, government recognized that these guys are doing some really good work through Yatra, through this incubation. So let's support them. So I would really encourage all of you to think not to go to the government in the first step. कि भाई हम शुरू में ही जाके government के दरवाजे पे बैठ गए कि we need support. That's not the right approach. First, build your muscles. First, build your business muscles, business mindset. आप कुछ बनाइए. You create your own enterprise. When you are standing on your own feet, then you go to government to ask for any support. Then you will be more, you'll have more power, right? And it also, by the way, is with investors. Going to the investors in the first place and asking for any support on the money is not the right way to do. Otherwise, the investor आपको खा जाएगा. They will ask you, give me this much of share, this much of stake, right? And I will drive in my own way. So I think it's a common wisdom, and I think Santosh ji यहाँ पे है, who has a far deeper experience on this. You first build your base, make your foundation really strong कि कोई इसको तोड़ ना सके. Nobody can shake you. Then you go to government, then you go to investors, then you go to anyone. So I have not given any specific answer to you, Saubhagya, unfortunately, because I have a very limited window with government, barring this Atal Innovation Mission, jahan hum log kaam kar raha hai. I don't have much. I mean, we have got some basic support, but our principle has been we will do it pretty much on our own. We will go to government when we need some support, when we are very strong on our own. Tab wo kare hame support, so that's all right. And that's actually the function and the role of government as well. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, over to you.
Can I add one point, Ashutosh?
जी बिल्कुल.
Yeah. See, I mean, Saubhagya has asked this question. I just wanted to tell you, Ashutosh has clearly pointed out that don't run after government from the beginning. Make your foot strong first. Try to do something of your own, because today's day also there are so much of schemes, but that is in the paper. But reality is always different. Okay, so you need to have. If you don't have, so tomorrow you will go to bank. I will ask, I need 5 lakh cash. They will ask that how many landed property you have, whether you can give collateral or not. If government is telling, okay, we are giving this kind of a without collateral, this, that, but there is a lot of star condition apply is there. So you will not be able to maintain those, comply those conditions, so that you will not be able to get this. So even I faced the same problem initially. So when we started business, my sales was 70,000 in first year. Okay, today we are 20 crores every year giving services. But the challenges is that if you don't have anything, nobody will support you. When you have money, you have collateral, then everybody will come forward to support you. This is the reality. So first you need to do small things, start with small things, add value to that, slowly develop your, then people will know that, okay, this is an organization which is doing good for the society, good, his product is good, his services is good. Then only you can able to go to the bankers or investors. rightly also one point Asutosh told that don't go for any angel investors because they will try to take away your business in their own model. That is also for true. I was about to be trapped for a business when I got, but escaped. I narrowly escaped. And today, what I have done is, okay, I did my own decision. I took my own decision. Today, I'm successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for adding that point. And Saubhagya, I hope that answers. Now we have the co-founder of Jeevitam, Mr. Munish. So he would just like to share his thoughts. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thanks, Srishti. I'm so happy to be there. My first of all apologies. I was supposed to join, but I had a board meeting, and these meetings have virtual meetings have this nasty thing of going overboard. So it went overboard and on. You know. So my apologies for that. First of all, it was supposed to get over at 5, and I was supposed to join, but it just spilled over. So, but I have been listening to you. I've joined as Sana as Icon, and I've been listening out to the comments of everyone, the questions and all. I'll just give you a quick background about myself first. My name is Munish Chawla. I'm the co-founder for Jeevitam. Jeevitam is a tech-enabled livelihood platform. We help vulnerable segments and the entry-level workforce find sustainable livelihood. We have around 1.6 crore work seekers on our platform. We have been doing this webinar series. Yeah, this is 33rd, Srishti, right? Yeah. So, you know, we have been, this is the 33rd webinar, which we have been doing. We have been doing it every week from 5 to 6 p.m. on Friday, which is there. And we have gone through hundreds and thousands of students and colleges and all. And we have been trying to, you know, as a startup, you know, we question the existing and we look into what are the better ways. So this COVID is giving us an opportunity to reset the way we work and live. Okay, so most of you are at home. I could see it, you know, you're not in office. I'm also at home. Okay, and we are working still. Work has not stopped. You know, we have evolved. So this whole, the way work is being done is getting reset. One of the things also is getting reset is also how you help students coming out of the colleges find sustainable livelihood. Okay, the colleges are closed, students are at home, corporates are not traveling. Can you still help students find sustainable livelihood? That's the question we asked, and we are a technology company, so we created a solution where we said digital college placement drive can happen. As I am speaking, you know, there is a virtual work fair going on for startups, you know, in collaboration with Confederation of Indian Industry. CI is a apex industry body of India. So we are doing a virtual work fair with them where a lot of startups, you know, there are over 10,000 open positions, and we have got over 10,000 registrations, you know, virtually happening across the country. Okay, people are participating and they are getting work opportunities to work with the best of the startups in the country. Okay, that's the opportunity you are getting. So technology today is enabling us to do a lot of things and also to reimagine it. So while we say, okay, why cannot college placement drive take place when students are at home, so corporates not traveling and colleges closed? Same, we ask questions, you know, why college placement only has to be done for the BTech and MBA? Why not for BA students, BCom students, ITI students, diploma holders? Why we are doing this? You know, there is no restriction there. Third question we asked is why it has to be only done. You know, I'm so happy to see college from Shillong today here. Shillong, you know, today and how many corporates would have traveled to Shillong, okay, to get students and, you know, all that. So today technology is giving that opportunity to Shillong to come into mainstream. This college in Shillong, every student there has this opportunity. So why do not we do college placements where it has never ever happened, especially in the tier 2, tier 3 cities? That's what we have been doing. Fourth question is why it has to be only done for the students who are coming out. Today, there are a lot of internship, apprenticeship, part-time, freelancer. ये हमारे देश में ही होता है, my papa, my ATM. Okay, you know, we need to have, you know, when the students come out from the colleges and I see those interviews of the students with a वो corporate उनसे पूछता है आप हमको क्यों ज्वाइन करना चाहते हो? The first answer is सर मैं सीखना चाहती हूँ. अरे भाई 3 साल क्या कर रहे थे? Okay, you know, what were you doing 3 years? You want to learn. So we are people are coming out today, they are not work ready. Okay, how can we make them work ready? Okay, to that is there. And my daughter, I have a younger daughter, who is in class 12. She is running her own cloud kitchen and she's earning 15,000 rupees. The life skills which she knows what is the meaning of profit. She knows how to acquire customers, how to service. Today she has gone all the way, 25 kilometers to deliver order worth 2,000 rupees. सो आज आप जब 12वीं क्लास में हो, आप कॉलेज में हो, आप पैसे कमा, आप पैसे की वैल्यू समझते हो, आपको समझ में आता है सेंट्रिसिटी क्या है. And last question what we have been asking is, why it has to be done, college placement program has to be done only once in a year? Why can't we do every month till the time, every student in India becomes Atmanirbhar? Okay. So आज हमारा जो initiative है, वो college students को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का है. Okay. To make them. And today I was listening to Mr. Santosh and Mr. Ashutosh. Okay, Ashutosh, I have a very special mention for you. Okay, my daughter, Christy, she is there and you have been seeing her. I was the one who got this yatra thing. I saw this and I said, my daughter has to go for this yatra. She was not aware about it. Okay, and I was clear in my head that my daughter has to go into this yatra. And I had a belief that this is going to change her, okay, her thought process and everything. Believe me, what you guys are doing, and I have been there to drop her in Bombay, and I've interacted with all the people down there, and I saw my daughter when she went for the yatra and when she came back, she was a different individual altogether, okay. So hats off to you, what of all amazing journey, what is called Jagriti Yatra, I think. I personally will like to participate whenever it starts again, as a counselor or in whatever capacity, because whatever, I feel, it's a whole train with all the youth coming over there. Believe me, the kind of experience I can, I didn't go there, but I saw it through my daughter's eyes, I experienced it through my daughter and I was very, very enthralled about it, the way it is there. So what we are doing is, you are doing your bit. यात्रा में इतने ही स्टूडेंट्स को लेके आ रहे हो, but you are doing your bit, okay, and which has an impact. I believe today also what we did was we did our bit, okay. आज 100 students से ऊपर है इस समय, still they are still hooked. We are in Shillong. I'm so happy with the college in Shillong. A big round of applause to all the students over there who are listening to this thing. You are very, very important. You have to be in the mainstream. Today, technology, this whole crisis has a lot of not good things, but there are a lot of positive things also. You today work from home, for example, I am in the livelihood space. Work from home is taking away where you are working from. You may be working for a company sitting in Shillong, in Delhi, in Bombay, maybe in New York, maybe in Bay Area. Nothing is stopping you right now. There is only one thing stopping is you yourself. You have to take the lead. You have to come forward and opportunities come in. See, I heard Mr. Santosh, I heard Mr. Ashutosh, both of you. You bring amazing experience on the block. You have your own perspective. You answered all the questions of all the students so patiently and so eloquently. So I'm really deepened and thanks to you all for being there and taking it forward. I have also a special mention for St. Anthony's College, Shillong, the principal there, the students, all the 3 students who were the representatives for the students over there. I think you asked very questions. क्वेश्चन पूछने से ही आगे बढ़ते हो, उससे ही दिमाग की सारी जो चीजें हैं वो क्लियर होती हैं. I hope we clarified a lot of things today and we took it forward. Thank you, Ashutosh. I again have a very positive thing. संतोष जी आपका भी है, लेकिन मेरी बेटी की जो लाइफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुई है जागृति यात्रा से, तो उसके लिए तो मैं आपका बहुत बहुत थैंक यू हूँ. ओके, धन्यवादी हूँ for what you are doing. I just wish your yatra starts again, and you do many instead of one. Why not 10, yatras going together every month? You are. See, I am a startup-preneur. I always think it in a very different way. जब एक मॉडल बना हुआ है तो हर महीने एक यात्रा निकालो ना सर और एक करते रहो. So I think you are capable to do a lot, and Ashutosh, I am always available for you. Okay, we as a thing, wherever you feel I can come and contribute, I will love to do that. I have a give back because you gave me a lot of things. So I have to give back to you. Okay, so whatever way I feel I can give it to you, I'll be more than happy to you. And I have this engine called KG engine, who has been there, who keeps coming every week, and just keeps on and on. There was an ad which I saw of Maruti. Okay, वो सदा जी ना एक चले जा रहे हैं गाड़ी, तू खत्म ही नहीं होता, so he is that, this guy is having also the same energy, कि हाँ चलती जा रही है 33 webinars, believe me, not a single webinar has been missed on Friday 5 to 6 p.m. He keeps coming, bringing the colleges, he keeps bringing, संतोष जी आपको लेके आ गए, आशुतोष जी आपको लेके आ गए, सारे principals को कर दिया. तो I think what we are doing is our bit, okay, which is there. Slowly it is going to be a movement, okay. That's the way we feel it out. I was sitting with CBSE director yesterday, we are now creating a journey from school to livelihood. भैया आप स्कूल में हो, आपको livelihood होना चाहिए, आप कॉलेज में हो, आपके पास livelihood होना चाहिए, आप कॉलेज से बाहर निकले, आपके पास livelihood होना चाहिए. Livelihood is like your fundamental right. You should, each one of us has a livelihood right. And Jivitam is a Sanskrit name for livelihood for others, So we are on a mission, livelihood for all. That's what we come. We are a platform. We want to make everyone earning. जैसे Amazon spending app है, okay? वैसे ही हम जीवितम को एक earning app बनाने की सोच रहे हैं. सर, हम थोड़े ना वो जैसे disruptive mindset वाले लोग हैं जीवितम में. So thank you again. I can carry on, but I know the space, time like is there. Thanks for all the students. There are still a lot of students. Lot of students, believe me, are on YouTube, okay, Ashutosh and Santosh, because connectivity is still an issue. We had this limitation of 100 people. So this is not only 100 people, 100 students looking at you, and this will be on YouTube. Many people can access the YouTube thing whenever they want. So this, whatever you are now, eternal. This webinar is eternal. This will be always there on the social media world, and anyone can see it out. Thank you very much.
Actually, Ashutosh sir said that it's not, we should not call it livelihood as per, because that is roti kapda makan, but we should call it entrepreneurship, because वो तो सब कर ही लेंगे, but उससे एक step आगे बढ़ना है. So that is also one thing that you missed maybe. So I think Ashutosh sir has to leave, and he's been kind enough to stay beyond. So I just request everybody to switch on their videos. We'll just take a quick photo and then we can continue, and so can leave. Okay, thank you. So
we want Kimi to come in. Kimi has come in. Saubhagya? Yeah, Saubhagya too. Oh, this is the first time full house on time, all with their best teeth.
Saubhagya has the logo fully, visible.
Modi look hai, sir. I for one cent, Mr. Modi has come in, sir. Sorry.
See, the combination of me and Father Joby, I have the hair, he has the beard.
Thank you, sir. Joby Joseph, sir. Thank you for Father Albert, for being there for us. I think what I will request to you is, just do a virtual campus placement drive. Whatever students you can help find livelihood. We are not going to charge you anything. We are going to do it for you. Just do it out. Let students come and say, okay, sir, you helped me not only educate me, and make me a good person, but also help me in my livelihood. Let it be there one journey, and do it out, sir. Small, it has to be a small start. So just Srishti will be in touch with you whenever you want to do it out. We have a lot of opportunities.
Sure.
Students from Shillong also. Place is agnostic. We are now getting.
So just on a count of 3, everybody please smile. Just a second. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Smile. Thank you so much. Sir, you can leave. Thank you so much for joining. It was an absolute pleasure to interact with you.
It was really wonderful, pleasure. And normally what we find in the yatra, we have to push parents to send their daughters on the train. But यहाँ उल्टा हो गया. आपने बोला उसको जाने के लिए.
थोड़ा disruptive mindset वाला आदमी हूँ. Okay. So I question, why should not my daughter go? Is the something question which I asked,
But it's actually the complete opposite. He pushed me, and then after that, I have started an enterprise which is pushing women further. So it's a whole different engine going
Great.
on. Yes.
Thank you. Thank
so
you,
much.
KG. Wonderful meeting
Thanks a lot.
you again.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Bye. Bye,
thanks,
everyone.
thanks, Munish ji,
Your
for your
brilliant dream always come true. It's going to come
Thank you.
true.
Yes.
thanks, Munish ji. Thanks, KG, for
Thank you.
Munish ji for special. You have came. I mean, your valuable words you have given, and KG is always a engine. You have told that he always gives different ideas, different things to happen, and he always very, very, very. He's like a mentor to me also. So always we talks to each other. And my vision is also the similar type, like give employment to rural youths. So you are talking it as livelihood. I always dream for giving you rural youths employment, and I started the company which started in 1990. Today we have around 1,000 people working across pan India. That is what we are doing. So we wanted to go forward with, say, inclusive growth. We always want, and we always want this people who are affluent people, they have so many ways, but people doesn't have affluent, they are from the rural poor, they have limited resources, how they can have their livelihood. So for them, finding out a livelihood is my mission. That is how I reach.
Sir, we should
So,
connect. Sir. We should connect. I think that is there.
yeah.
Sir, I believe it. I just saw one comment from Ritishari. Okay, Chain. He is there. He says, "Thank you to all panelists. This webinar truly cleared a lot of my doubts. Thank you. If we are able to make impact into one student also, I think we have done the job. That's how we look at Jivita. So I think there is one guy who's already there. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Santosh. Thank you, Father Albert, Father Joby. I think pleasure talking to you, and I will never forget the noise of students playing games yesterday. I called you, and I was so happy that both of you were there in front of the students. I'm sure you were cheering them on. But that was a great moment, and the weather must have been great. Here, playing games out of question, COVID-19 all over, weather 38 degrees. So you can imagine our plight. Anyway,
Thank you.
thanks a lot, Father Albert. Thanks a lot, Father Joby. And
you.
thanks a lot to Kimi, Irene, and Saubhagya. Amazing job done. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much,
And
sir.
we're sorry we must have missed a few of your questions, but the answers that the panelists gave were so comprehensive that I'm sure that they must have answered all the questions that you have. Nonetheless, we're always available, and we wish to collaborate further and take this a step ahead, and sign a MOU and go ahead. So the students have been absolutely very sweet, and they've sent us really nice messages that this webinar has been really good for them, and they've been there till the end, absolute end. So this has been very rare for us. So thank you so much for the hospitality and the invitation, sir, and have a great weekend, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Srishti, we will look forward for signing the MOU and taking it forward. So Manish.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, Saubhagya, Irene, and Kimi. You have been absolutely amazing. Your questions were on point, and it's so nice to interact with the Shillong, it's College of Shillong. So thank you so much. We're really glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the
Thank you,
opportunity.
Joby, sir.
We're really grateful.
Thank you so much.